just let me know, but they show no fish. They say you found it, but she's still gonna hold on. They say you found it, but she doesn't want.
This is my first YouTube video, and I was contemplating on what I should do for my first YouTube video. I was originally gonna do a Q&A, which didn't end up working because I recorded it a while ago, and I realized how much I changed in a short amount of time, and so it just didn't feel right to post. I was also going to do of January 1st with the idea that it's a new year, it's a new me. I'm going to go into it trusting God. But the problem was when I was making that vlog, my day didn't go as I planned at all. Literally at all. So I had to scratch that idea, and I realized that I couldn't trust in my plan and I had to trust in God's. Even though it didn't go my way, the day was a very, very good day. So the main takeaway that I got from it was that I needed to actually trust in God's plan for me and not just rely on my own or the things that I wanted to do because it was never going to work out. But the day went way better than I could have planned. The same way that in life, God guides us to have a life that He knows is the best way for us. Even though we think we want this, we need this, da 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 da, that's not the case most of the time. And so I knew I wanted to speak on that. My next idea was that, okay, maybe I could just do like a cinematic video and then have a voiceover of me talking about God. As I was recording things and just doing a bunch of stuff to try to get a bunch of clips, again, it didn't feel right. I felt like I needed to have almost like a sit down to talk about God and to talk about the things that I wanted to do with my YouTube channel and my platform. And so that's what I'm doing, sitting down and talking about it because I want to have a different outlook on life almost and actually trusting in God's plan for me because I know that it's better than I could have ever imagined. God is a very, very, very important figure that I feel like I need to have as a priority. And so I feel like the first video should definitely be me directly talking to you guys about God because God is a big part of my life and I plan on continuing to grow in that. So I hope you guys are willing or wanting to grow in that with me as well and then with yourself because God wants a relationship with all of us at the end of the day. No matter how much we've sinned, no matter how much we've done anything, God is always right there. We just have to let Him come into our lives to clean it up. I'm just going to kind of combine a bunch of things. I'm going to answer some questions that I did get asked on my Q&A about what I'm going to do with this channel and about questions about God. Because that's the main thing that's really heavy on my heart right now, so I want to talk about it. And what better way to talk about it than my first video? I'm gonna show y'all the questions and answer them, so let's get to it, man. Okay, so first easy question. Somebody asked, what content will I be doing on this YouTube channel? I'm gonna try to put the question right here. Hopefully I'll be able to or something. I'm still figuring out how to edit, guys, so bear with me. But what I plan to do on this YouTube channel is to just kind of do day in my life, vlogs, cinematic kind of videos because I love those type of cool things where it makes you see the beauty in life. I want to talk about my insights. I want to talk about God. I want to talk about my poetry. Just a bunch of things that I enjoy as a person and as somebody who's trying to grow in life as a woman of God. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, I'm not like a serious type of person. I like when you can actually learn about things and you can feel them changing your heart internally. And so you change it in your life around you externally and kind of impact other people. And so that's what I kind of want to do. And just show you guys my life through my eyes almost. Because I feel like it's everybody has an experience to share. Everybody has a story to tell. And so I just kind of want to share mine with y'all. I just plan on doing a bunch of different things. I notice a lot of people on TikTok like my Bible studies, which I definitely plan on doing more. Even if it's not me directly reading something from the Bible, I would love to sit and talk about just insights that I almost get from God, or like insights that I have about life, or my personal outlooks on it, almost. Kind of almost like a safe space. And that probably sounds corny to a lot of people, but hey, that's the best way I can put it. And that's my goal at the end of the day for this channel. So yeah, what's advice you would give someone who's trying to get closer to God? And my main advice always is to pray. And the reason that I say that is because when you pray, you're having a one-on-one conversation with God. And a lot of the times the Bible can be confusing if you're not being guided to understand what you need to understand from it. So when you're praying and you're being your most vulnerable self with God and with yourself, and you're being honest and you're being true, I feel like in my life, I always felt closest to God when I was praying, because I was definitely way more vulnerable in that moment. And when you take time to yourself and take time to talk to God, you will feel God because you're accepting Him into your life. And I feel like that's a really important thing that a lot of people don't really consider. They just think, oh, you just pray to pray and it's just a saying. But it really is a good conversations that you can have with God, and He'll guide you right then and there as soon as you let Him. And that also kind of goes with the other question that I got asked, is how did Christ come to you? I feel like Christ was always there. I was kind of the one that had to make the choice to let Him make an impact on my life. And that kind of goes with anything in life almost. But God is always there. God is literally always, always, always there because He always wants what's best for you. So if you accept Him into your life, He'll change what you need changed in your life. And He'll clean up what you need to get cleaned up in your life. And I'm telling you, He will just make the biggest impact on your life if you let Him. It really is like a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful journey. So, yeah. If you come to Christ, Christ will come to you. I feel like that's the main takeaway from it. It has to be a two-sided relationship. It can't just be you complaining to God and expect Him to take away everything if you're not putting in the work as well. You have to do your part as well as He'll do His. And you have to realize that, and you have to be humble enough to understand that you don't deserve everything. Because at the end of the day, we don't. We're all sinners. We will all continue to be sinners, but you have to strive to try to live for God, for Him to bless you with the things that He knows you need in your life. What made you get closer to God? The main thing that pushed me to get closer to God is all the hurt that I've been through. I feel like it's a common thing to say that people have been through a lot, but I've been at some of my lowest points where I felt and I almost knew that I didn't have anybody. But God was always right there to pick me right back up. And it was weird because there was people that I didn't have physically, nor was God physically there with me, sitting down with me, but I felt Him so much that it felt physically like it was the only thing that I needed to tell me that I was going to be okay, and I knew automatically that I was going to be okay. And there were a lot of times where that's all I needed, was to hear that I was going to be okay. But to actually believe it was the problem. But when I heard it from God over and over and time again, and I was shown multiple times, I finally believed it, that I was going to be okay. And hey, I'm here now, so I'm okay. I think that's why in the Bible it also says that they're close to the brokenhearted, because it's true. A lot of the times we're so hard-headed that God has to almost break us so that we can go to Him, so that we can understand that we can't do it alone and without Him. To really understand that, sure, it's going to be a process. Everything is a process in life. But when you get to that final realization that all you really need is God, everything will work out. Everything will work out in itself because God is right there guiding you through everything. And even though you might not understand it, in the moment, you can have peace with that because you know that somebody is guiding you, somebody higher than you. You just have to be humble enough to realize that. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is. There's a lot. There's a lot of different stories that I can say on why I got closer to God, but it all comes down to Him helping me when it felt like I couldn't be helped. It all comes down to me giving my life to Him when I felt like I didn't want to have a life anymore almost. And not to get all sad or nothing, but it was like, there's a quote, Bryce, I don't know if y'all know Bryce, but he said that instead of taking his life, he gave his life to somebody who wanted it. And I feel like that sentence alone made the biggest impact because even if you don't mean it literally, sometimes we feel so lost in life that we don't even want to deal with it no more. We just want to find temporary things that'll please us in the time being, but it won't actually fulfill us in no kind of way. So when we actually find God, you'll find that it's so, so fulfilling and beautiful because you'll actually appreciate the little things in life that you never really saw before. Just walking with God in general is a beautiful, beautiful thing. I wish and I hope that everybody finds God at the end of the day. Because when you find God, you find yourself. You definitely do. What do you feel like you struggle with on your walk with God? And I feel like the main things that I struggle with is probably reading my word and almost prioritizing Him. Before, I used to just say, oh yeah, I love God, I know God, and I live for God, but I wasn't really doing it. I was just saying it because I knew that that's what I wanted deep down, but I wasn't putting any action behind it. And so my words really meant nothing. So nothing was changing in my life. And I was kind of just blaming it on a bunch of different things, but in reality, it was my own fault, and I had to realize that. So that's the main struggle, as well as putting all my trust in Him. Because, again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I like to have things all planned out. And so putting all of my trust in God was definitely a different thing because I felt like I could only rely on myself. But when I realized I didn't need to anymore, it didn't feel uncomfortable anymore. It almost felt natural to just let Him take care of it. And it's helped in a lot of ways. And it's changed my perspectives on life and how I deal with things and how I go about life almost because I just give it to God. But that used to be my main struggle. Now, reading my word, that's, I feel like, almost always going to be a struggle because a lot of the times I struggle with reading or just taking the time to comprehend the words. But I noticed when I pray for understanding and comprehension of what God wants to show me, I definitely understand it more and it's way, way easier to read. I mean, there's always going to be struggles with your walk with God, but you can't depend on it. You can't really rely on it, or you can't just dwell on it because it's not going to get you anywhere. It's a struggle. Yeah, we're all going to have struggles, but as long as you work through it with God, it'll work out in itself. It will. Last question that I'm going to answer is, what are your top 3 goals you want to accomplish? And there's a lot of things I want to accomplish. I think in my mind right now, though, I would say my top goal, I feel like it'll always be my top goal, is to grow as a person and grow as a person enough to confidently talk about God or help people out and to almost heal people because at the same time it's also healing me. First goal is growing as a person and helping others grow as a person as well, and kind of just being a part of the process of it all and trusting in God's plan. My second goal, I would probably say, is learning how to edit correctly on YouTube and everything and being more consistent. And my third goal is being intentional in many, many ways. I want to have good intent with everything that I do and not just do it for the sake of it, but I want to actually make an impact and have a reason for what I do. And that means not wasting time or not saying things just to say things or saying things just to get a reaction. Actually just being a part of life. Almost kind of being like a main character, which sounds corny, but it really is, like, because every choice that you make does have an impact and it does leave a certain mark either on you or somebody else or the things around you. And so I would want to leave a good impact and have a good intention in everything that I do. Those are my 3 goals. I think after this video, I do plan on kind of doing a cinematic video. I think I kind of want to do one with my poetry in the background, like a voiceover. But again, I have to learn how to do that. I'm just going to try to see what I can make work with that. Yeah. If not, it'll probably just be a vlog of a bunch of different clips and just me, my friends, me, my family, me just kind of living my life. God bless. Stay safe. Keep your head up. Have a good rest of your day or a good rest of your night. Pray before y'all go to sleep. And remember to trust in God's plan for you. Remember. And remember to actually give it to God and not just say that you are. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and you could comment. Oh, also, I'm going to do a new Q&A, but I'm going to do like an updated one so I can actually answer appropriately. Comment what kind of videos you guys want me to do or any suggestions or anything. If I put my intro in here, guys, Aira made it for me. Let's give a round of applause to her, man. She's amazing. Love her. But yeah, again, thank y'all for watching. And adios. Adios. Much love.